creepiness as a curiosity gap or an expected curiosity differential. So yeah, first I'm going to talk about why I thought about this, but not a lot. Then I'm going to talk about the main thesis of this video, like what the title refers to. Then I'm going to talk about OSINT and operational security, like open source intelligence, and operational security is like the counterpoint of that. And then about me being a Googler, or a person who Googles a lot. So first, what did I think about this now? And well, I lied. I'm not actually going to talk about it. I'm going to not, I don't want to say it because I don't want to appear creepy. But it's just for clarification's sake, it's nothing outside of like shit that you can literally know about after 5 consecutive Google searches. But it's those kind of Google searches that after the 5th Google search, you're like, am I too deep into this? Am I digging too deeply into something? Technically, it's all public or stuff like that, but it's threading that line that I'm going to talk about right now in the main thesis of the video. So yeah, the main thesis of the video is that creepiness is basically a curiosity gap. And people see you as creepy based on their own knowledge of what other people's curiosity can do, right? If I'm very curious to know about something, but you are not really that curious, but your model of me doesn't really model me as a very curious person, maybe you think, oh shit, this good is crossing that line, right? So that's like a curiosity gap. And obviously this is like kind of a tongue-in-cheek metaphor. Well, not metaphor, it's like a tongue-in-cheek example, because there are 2 sides of this, right? There's the side of the person, so like creepiness is like a lack of empathy of someone regarding their, it's basically lack of empathy on how someone feels, but that's like pulling from that thread. It's more specifically, it's more of an ability, or it's like more of a lack of the ability towards mentally modeling what the other person is expecting their own operational security to be like, or like their lack of open source intelligence knowledge to be like, right? It's, for example, if I in 5 consecutive Google searches I can find out who basically every member of your family is, and you don't know that I can do that, then if I do it, you see me as creepy, right? But I'm also being creepy because I know that you don't know, right? Or either I know that you don't know I can do that, or I have such disability to mentally model you that I'm crossing some kind of line, right? That's if I'm being creepy without me knowing, right? If I don't know that you don't know, but I still cross the line, it's because I failed at modeling, right? That's like the side, that's like siding on the creeped out person. So it's like the feelings of creepiness are warranted because even though I did it accidentally, it was still a failure on my part because I failed to correctly model the other person's abilities. And then on the agentic side, it's like if I'm really curious about something and there are no barriers to me knowing that, why couldn't, like, just because if you put yourself in the other side, right, in the side of the creepy person, if I'm really curious about something, there are literally no barriers. I can just Google them. It's open source knowledge, OSINT, open source intelligence. It's like out there in the open. The only thing that's actually keeping me out are some social norms that are obviously arbitrary, or like my arbitrary modeling of my arbitrary and inexact mental model of someone, right? Because if I'm predicting that someone will get creeped out, it's because I'm accurately doing so. But if I don't know how to predict that someone will get creeped out, how am I getting this knowledge, right? So that's like siding on the creepy person side. That was my 2 categories. And now I'm going to talk about a bit about OSINT, like open source intelligence, and how I came about this word, because I didn't actually tie it into this until fairly recently. So yeah, this is, well, open source intelligence here. Yeah. OSINT. Sorry. In case you didn't know, I didn't know until recently either. Is written like this, in case I mispronounced it also, because I maybe mispronounced it, and it's I said OSINT or OSINT, I don't know. In Spain, I would guess it's said OSINT, but yeah. So this means open source intelligence. And I found it in this talk that Chema Alonso, who is a famous Spanish hacker, he's probably the most famous like public figure that's of the hacker type, and like divulgador, like communicator, social communicator, and stuff like that. I would say he's like the most famous one, and he's been like in famous talk shows and stuff like that, right? He's like the media's guy for explaining hacking stuff, basically. And yeah, he had this video about open source intelligence in WhatsApp, where there's a lot of ways you can weaponize WhatsApp to know a lot about people, and a lot of soft leaks that WhatsApp divulges information that maybe you don't want to know people to know, right? Or that you are not expecting people to know. So, for example, he had like this trick but open source intelligence is not limited to WhatsApp. Obviously, it's for everything. But he was in this conference. He was specifically talking about WhatsApp and how to use it, but how it's been used. But yeah, he, for example, uses the example at conference and stuff like that of people giving him business cards with their email, their phone number, their full name. So that's basically giving a lot of information that you can easily Google stuff and know a lot about things, right? You can know their social networks if you plug them into stuff, and you get like the verification email. So you will know that they have an account at that social network, for example, dating apps or Grindr, so like spicy dating apps, stuff like that, right? Or the phone number, because sometimes people make fake emails, but if they require phone verification, sometimes the phone login also works. So, you know, those kind of practices. And yeah, I thought about this because he mentioned that a lot of people, that a lot of your full name in Spain, if you plug it into Google, it's pretty sure it's somewhere there because of your college history or your high school history or stuff like that, right? And that's what, yeah, that's part of my question, because I found some information of someone in high school or college or something like that, some kind of like PDF of maybe scholarship information or something like that, right? And when I watched this talk, it reminded me of this comment, right? So yeah, OSINT means all of this information that's publicly available that everyone can access, and that you are also vulnerable of being accessed. Yeah, for example, if you know my name, you can Google my information, and there are a lot of things that will come up. My university probably comes up. You probably will know when I traveled abroad to an Erasmus program, because it's there, stuff like that. So I know that that's knowable information, but maybe other people don't know. And I know that you can access my Facebook, and I know what the privacy settings on my Facebook are. So maybe you can see some friends, maybe you can see who are the members of my family based on their surnames. It's like obvious shit, but maybe people don't expect it. So yeah, that was my and OpSec, operational security, is like being protected against this. So like using pseudonyms, that in this case I'm using one, but it's probably not very effective because it's also tied into my operational security. In this pseudonym is pretty bad, so you can probably tell what my real name is in like 7 Google searches or something like that, right? I mean, it's not a challenge. It's but it's doable probably really easily. And then the next thing I wanted to talk about is about me being a Googler, right? So why did I think about this? And it's because I'm a person who is relatively proud of Googling stuff, right? In this tweet that I have here, I basically just found some information, right? So, well, this tweet was this picture, the unblurred version, right? The overlay. You see that the girl is here, is super tall, and these people are more or less equally tall, and this guy has been shrunk. So yeah, it was basically a joke. This is Michael Bloomberg, some politician / rich guy, that so that he was posing in this picture with this woman who's already pretty tall, but she was like enlarged, and this woman who is like average size, I guess, but taller than this guy, and she was also enlarged, and the guy was shrunk. So yeah, so basically, she is a famous random person, so she's like the daughter of some kind of she's the tall daughter of this random president. Well, president. He's pretty authoritarian, but yeah, I guess Rwanda kind of worked and anyway, random tangent away. But yeah. So yeah, this is the daughter of Kagame, Paul Kagame, I think he was the name. And yeah, so she was enlarged and the guy was shrunk, and this woman was also enlarged. So people wanted to know like who is this, because she's pretty, I guess, right? And I found her. So that was basically one example of my excellent Googling skills, and I'm not super proud of it. Like I don't know, like I'm a pianist, no, but I am kind of proud of being able to Google stuff, right? And it is a skill, soft skill set. It's like being a good communicator, right? It's not maybe something you can boast about and something that's mega unique, but it's something that some people can do. Some people can do less easily. Some people can do more easily, right? And in this case, it was basically because this tweet I quote retweeted myself saying this, right? That I maybe am not top 1% global Googler, but Visa, who has been featuring in this playlist a lot, said that, basically just if you're talking about your own Googling abilities, it's probably because you have searched on Google how to Google better, and you have refined your searches enough so that you can very proficiently Google like better than basically everyone else, right? That there are 99% of people, right? So top 1% globally. And I agreed, and then found this that kind of ties into this creepiness aspect, right? Because in this video, it's mentioned how Gen Z now is using Google much less to search, and it's instead searching on TikTok, right? I know that the first search engine, the biggest search engine is Google. The second biggest search engine is YouTube, right? So people search for shit on YouTube. Like when you want to know something, you look it up on YouTube. I do that as well, right? Sometimes you look it up on Google and it brings you videos, but sometimes you just directly want to learn from a video tutorial, right? But millennials or Gen Z people are not millennials, Gen Z are not doing it as much, right? Gen Z are starting to use TikTok for search, and that kind of ties into this creepiness as a Googler's ability, right? Or Googling being creepy, because TikTok algorithmic stuff and TikTok search is not as aggressively googly as Google, right? Google indexes a lot of, I don't know, boring stuff that's boring to search for. And TikTok, when you search for it, it brings you like previously algorithmically bumped up content, right? So it's like it gives you popular shit. It gives you like normie shit. So you get, for example, if you Google best places in Madrid to hang out, you maybe get like some kind of top 10 SEO boosted article with bottom tier content, or like some fake ass news website from 10 years ago giving the 10 places that were popping then. But if you go to TikTok and you plug in best places to eat Madrid, you instantly get like these cool lifestyle type videos that look good, and they show you the pictures like kind of like recorded with the iPhone, or like the classic panoramic iPhone clip of these really hip place with this cool lighting, right? And yeah, that's kind of like the counterpoint to like creepy searching. It's this TikTok searching, right? It's like hip searching that's been algorithmically boosted, so you don't feel creepy for knowing like the best places, and it's also less search term intensive, right? If you can just with few keywords find something, and it's less that you find something, that you look for something and you find it, and more that something finds you, right? It's more, oh, look at this place, let's go to this restaurant, I saw it on TikTok, it must be nice, right? Or it looked pretty cool on TikTok, let's check it out. And you don't look as creepy as, I found who your 7 family members are because they are listed in the Boletín Oficial Español del Estado, right? So yeah, that's basically the whole video. And yeah, this is a series of 100 videos. This will be video number 8. You can check the whole playlist out here. I talk about random stuff like that. It has been meta so far, so I'm talking about the 100 video series, but as you can see, I'm also doing like these kind of random topics. So they will be coming more in the future, I bet. So bye.